their address.
Well, when we made this land transfer with CapFed, I was under the understanding, because I know we talked about it, about maybe certain materials in the building that would have to be a lot of money to, like asbestos, for example. I asked the question then, I said, well, who's responsible for tearing the building down? And I can't be 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they said CapFed was going to be responsible for tearing the building down. Like I say, I've got to be honest, my memory, I can't be for sure, but that's how I remember it. How about anybody else on the council? Do you remember anything like that?
No. What's your question?
My question is, the land swap I wasn't in favor of. Now we're going to put another $100,000 into it, tearing the building down. It just, I don't understand why we're doing it. I don't understand why we did it then. I don't understand why we're having a bus depot there when we already have one on Lamar. Why would we want to put $1.2 million, is it? We bought the land for, Mike, I think? Or traded?
Okay, so your questions are about tearing the building down and moving the transit, okay?
I think citizens do not want buses going up and down Johnson Drive. And so the bus depot where it is now at Lamar, why would we move it? And unlike Beverly, I would like an answer. Why would we move it to the middle of Mission where it's going to congest traffic, be pollutant? Keep it where it's at. Why are we moving it to the middle of Mission?
Steve, we've been working on this plan for a number of years, so I'm a little surprised you're asking this question.
I think it's a number of years, but it's been a year and a half or so, yes.
I think John was complaining about the building coming down when we voted on it.
Yes.
Or when council voted on it, but I was here too. So I'm still not real clear what the question is. That's been
the question is, why are we moving the bus depot from Lamar to the middle of Johnson Drive with buses going up and down Johnson Drive? The residents don't want it. And like Beverly said, you guys are voted in by the people, and you should start doing the will of the people. I mean, talk to your constituents. I mean, they don't want buses going up and down Johnson Drive.
All right.
So, my question is, why are we moving the bus depot from Lamar to the middle of Mission?
Because it fits in better with the plan that we've been working on.
That's why we're spending how much money on this?
Well, it fits. I'm not really sure what it is what exactly.
What's the expense and why we're doing it?
Mike?
Do you have a number on that?
Yeah, it's $88,800. We sold our property. We both got appraisals. We sold our property for $1.2 million. They sold theirs to us for $1 million, so we netted $200. In the escrow agreement, we made them set aside additional money for the removal of asbestos, not knowing when the building would be torn down. So there's actually money that CapFed contributed for the removal of asbestos because we didn't know when it might be torn down. We knew that that site was probably going to be eligible to be considered as part of the Metcalf Shawnee Mission Parkway, and it was part of a Tiger Grant application that we made probably 6 months after we bought it. That physical piece, if you look at it in the East Gateway plan, it shows that as a transit area, both on the north and south side of Martway. And so that actually has been in our plans for 3 years in terms of transit being located in that corridor. With the money that we made on the property, we knew that we would have sufficient amount to tear it down at some point if we needed to. So we got a new bank built at Knoll and Johnson Drive, and it turned out that we did get the Tiger Grant, and we actually have they will end up spending somewhere between $900,000 and $1.2 million to put in a new facility there, and then make improvements around both the facility and the roads.
So we're coming out basically even with the land swap.
And we're getting 2 new buildings. You're getting a new one on the corner of Johnson Drive in Knoll, and you're getting a new one where Cap Fed was.
Well, I mean, that explains that, but the council people, I would suggest that you talk to your constituents on the buses going up and down Johnson Drive. I really would.
Okay.
Do you have a question for me, Deb?
No, I don't have a question, I have a comment.
Okay.
You know, Connie and I have been on the council for a long period of time. We hold ward meetings every 3 months. We hold them so people can come in and talk about things that don't get discussed in council meeting, updates on restaurants and streets and everything. We've had several people come to meetings. We've had 1 or 2 people. Connie and I continually come to the meetings because I think it's important, not just in a formal setting, but informally to keep people apprised, constituents, apprised of what's going on in the city. And
I don't think people know, Debbie. I know you guys do. You do it religiously, and it's great. I just don't, I think you need to go door to door and find out. You know, if you really want to know.
Okay.
I think the right, you know, so thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Madam Mayor, I move the City Council approve an agreement between the City of Overland Park, Kansas and the City of Mission, Kansas for the public improvement of 5251 Johnson Drive.
second.
All right. Is there any discussion? Mr. Weber?
In the agreement, it's quite lengthy, and I believe someone mentioned, I think it was Mike, about the $88,000 estimate cost. It says the cost of making the improvements shall include labor and material used in making the improvements and such other expenses which are necessary in making the improvements, exclusive of the cost of acquiring real property and any improvements therein for the location of the improvements. These costs include, but are not limited to, project administration, construction inspection, material testing, and utility relocations. Now, here's the censure. The cost of making the said improvements shall be distributed between the cities as follows. Mission shall pay 100% of the local share of said improvements. Overland Park shall pay 0% of local shares of said improvements. I just don't particularly care for that kind of a setup when we are, again, really don't know. We talked about maybe they're going to need some easement land down there to buy and everything like that. And we're going to be stuck with that whole cost. And I just can't see it.
Mike, go ahead.
If you go to page 2 of the, or page 1 of the contract, purpose of the agreement, and you'll get down, and it describes what the purpose of the agreement is: demolish the existing structure, remove all site parking and improvements, backfill,
Demolishing
excavation,
existing structure, remover of
with
all
engineer,
site parking, right?
restore the site to mobile
Okay.
condition, and
Back to
construct other incidental items associated and integral with the above reference. Improvement is a demolition of a building, and the reason that we're paying 100% of it is that the building's located in Mission. We're using Overland Park to oversee the project because they actually have engineers that are available to do it, and we can do it for a lot less using their engineers to oversee the demolition and removal of that building, and we don't have to spend any of our time.
That's right, but they can bill us for it according to this, the way I read it. If they want to bill us for it by using their engineers and inspectors and everything, they can bill us because we got to incur 100% of it. I'm not a lawyer, but that's kind of the way I interpret it.
Here's a real simple thing to do in the motion. In the motion, when you get to Madam Mayor, I move. Just put, I move the City Council approve an agreement between the City of Overland Park, Kansas and the City of Mission, Kansas in an amount not to exceed $88,080 for the public improvements demolition of the property located at 5251 Johnson Drive.
Well, I won't do that because I don't favor tearing it down anyway. I mean, I know what they want to put in there, but we got a valuable piece of property there for the city of Mission, especially if something should come out of that East Gateway, that'd be worth a hell of a lot more than a bus depot.
Right.
And there's going to be some vacant places, I'm sure, down in this building that the county owns when the crime lab and all of that moves out to their new facility, correct?
And they're looking to relocate the offices and personnel that's in the Roland Park Community Center back to that location.
Back out here, down here? So we could pay for tear that down out there to build a bus depot.
All right, is there any other discussion? Would someone like to amend the motion?
I will be happy to. Is the amount $88,080?
Correct.
Okay. Madam Mayor, I move the city council approve an agreement between the city of Overland Park, Kansas and the city of Mission, Kansas in an amount not to exceed $88,080
Okay, well, you,
for the public improvement of 5251 Johnson.
all right. And who seconded it?
Debbie did.
And will you accept the
I
amendment?
accept the amendment.
All right, you will second that.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? Please call the question.
Weber,
No.
Vandenberg,
No.
Pring,
Aye.
Rostadir. Aye. Gibbs.
Aye.
Footlick.
Aye.
Andre.
Aye.
Okay, then we have item 3D, right-of-way agreement with